immense pleasure to welcome on stage Air Commodore Nitin Sati. Nitin Sathe has over 30 years of distinguished service as the helicopter pilot in the Indian Air Force. His first book, A Few Good Men and the Angry Sea, was released in the year 2014 and based on his experience in Car Nicobar Islands after they were ravaged by the tsunami in 2004. His next book, Born to Fly 2016, is a biography of his batchmate flying officer MP Anil Kumar, a MiG-21 pilot who became a quadriplegic due to his accident at the age of 24. A Commodore Sathe is presently posted as a senior instructor at the Defence Service Staff College at Wellington in the Nilgiris. He will be in conversation with Brigadier Sanjay Agarwal sir. He is a former security advisor to the Ministry of Home Affairs, advisor to the National Highways Authority of India and president of the Service Selection Board. He is a visiting faculty at the MBA institutions, a trainer in soft skills and a self-developed coach. They will be joined on the stage by Tejasvi S. Naik sir, a 2009 batch IAS MP cadre native of Sirsi, Karnataka. He did his graduation in Bachelor's of Dental Surgery. He served as Assistant Collector Hoshangabad, SDM Piparia, SDM Katni and Municipal Commissioner Bhopal. He is presently serving as a Collector of Betul. So please continue the session.
Very warm welcome to Air Commodore Nitin Sathe and my colleague Mr. Tejasvi Naik from the government service. 30 seconds about Air Commodore Nitin Sathe, a minute about his 3 books, and then we will ask him a few questions. And my focus is to give time for the audience to ask more than 3 questions, please. And only request is keep your questions not more than 2 sentences long so that more people can ask. My 30 seconds start now. Apart from what has been announced about Nitin, his first book is about the tsunami which happened in 2004 in the Andamans, in the Car Nicobar for him, and he wrote about it in 2014, 10 years later. All from his own diary, thoughts, straight from his heart. His second book, the biography, MP Anil Kumar is his batchmate, 65 NDA. Anil was the best in aeronautics in 1988 of his course. He wanted to commit suicide. And how his book, through the journey of Anil Kumar, who took 5 years to say, I will not commit suicide, I will live life and live it successfully, which he did truly, which he will bring out. How this book has helped so many people going down the road towards suicide come back into the mainstream. This book has been recommended by the NCERT as reading for children, and of course the book has won an award. And his third book is a collection of short stories. So that's that. Now MP Anil Kumar became a quadriplegic, arms, legs, everything, paralyzed from neck down. And then in 5 years, based on friends who told him, no, we won't give you the poison now, we'll give it after 5 years. He was one of those friends. When he asked for poison, they said, after 5 years. And that man went on to become a prolific writer, etc. So that's the background with which we have Air Commodore Nitin Sathe with us. A number of his interviews are there on YouTube for you all to watch. And over to Tejasvi for specific question number 1.
Thank you, sir. First of all, sir, a warm welcome to you in Bhopal, though it is quite cold. I remember you had to buy a new coat when you landed here. So, yeah, this is a poignant line that I would want to read out from the book. He lay motionless as he did for most of his life. The only thing missing on his face was his characteristic smile. This is by one of the friends of MP. MP is how he is known all through the book. Flying Officer MP Anil Kumar. Sir, my first question would be, you have authored 3 books. In all are like different genres in a way. So any common factor among these 3 books that you have authored that you would want to share with us?
I think even the genre is different. There is a there is a very strong thread right through all the three of my books. It's about resilience, it's about fighting back, it's about not getting cowed down by the problems that we face in life. So the first book was about a natural disaster which put everybody down. We had to fight through the disaster and recover the Andaman Islands. The second book is about a human tragedy where MP had to fight his way up to become successful. And of course, the third book is a collection of short stories, but I'll just leave it to the audience. If they want to read it, they can. There are small instances in my life as a helicopter pilot going all over the world about whom I met and what happened. So I'll leave it at that. I'll keep the mystery of the third book.
Thank you, sir. I think it's all about the battles that you face in the life. It may be personal or otherwise. I have gone through your book Born to Fly. I'm yet to go through the other books. I've just bought the other book, so I'll have it signed by you. It's a lucky part for me. For Born to Fly.
Check.
Yeah. Hello?
Can you hear me?
For Born to Fly, which you have written for your batchmate and a friend, MP. What is the most moving factor that brought you into this project?
Well, I remember, I was traveling in the car just after his death. I was traveling in a train the day he died, and I had met him about 15 days before that, and we all knew that he was going to go. And why he was going to go, we will talk about it a little later. While traveling in the train, when I came to know that MP had died, I came back to Pune, where the funeral had taken place. And while traveling in a car, I got a message about his will. I read through the will. In that will, he had written how good life had been for him, how good his friends had been to him, and that he had left all his belongings, his money, everything to the paraplegics at the paraplegic home in Pune. So that got tears to my eyes, and all my life I had been telling him, please write about yourself, please write a book yourself, because he was too good at writing, he was much better than I am. And he said, no, I won't do this. I will not allow anybody to write about me, because there are much more better people in this world who are doing much more than what I am doing. So once he died, then I said I must. So I went and asked permission from his mother, and I went to his village, stayed with his mother for a few days to understand what it is to live in a small village near Trivandrum. And then I decided to go to his school. I stayed with the small children in the school, I ate with them, I ran with them, I did what the children do in a Sainik school. I kind of became Anil Kumar for some time. And thereafter, of course, Air Force Academy, we were together, so I know him. NDA, we were together. And after that, I went to about 400 odd people, paraplegic friends and his school friends, as to what he was to them. And I interviewed about 400-500 people. I got a lot of inputs from them, and then I started writing the book.
So, here is the book, Born to Fly, and it says right here, fighter pilot MP Anil Kumar teaches us there is no battle the mind cannot win. So tell us, Air Commodore Nitin Sathe, what do you attribute your success as a writer to? Because clearly, with this second book of yours, you have caught the imagination not only of the reader, but of the critics and of the intrinsic value of this book to advancement of positivity. What do you attribute your success as a writer to?
I think more by luck, I think. No, not really something. I think I put a lot of, I get into the person's mind, I get into the person's character, and then I write it. That, I think, it comes from my heart. All my three books come from my heart, so I think that is one point. And like you said, sir, you've been in an SSB, I've been in an SSB. So I like to analyze people, and then I formulate what they are all up to. And that's what I did with Anil, with his friends, with all the people who are associated with Anil. So I think the book, anybody who writes from his heart, I think he'll get the audience. That's my bottom line.
So let me add what he hasn't said. When the tsunami happened, Nitin was actually in Jalandhar. Patiala, sorry. And he asked a few friends, what is it, what has happened? There was not much of internet available in the offices. There was a slow dial-up line in his house, he said in one of his earlier interviews. So he dialed up Delhi and he said, I want to go and help. They said, stay where you are, you're doing a good work there. And soon they said, okay, now you go. So he became the chief operating officer and the task force commander, which carried out the rescue, the relief and the rehabilitation. And he stayed on for 1 year. And we have with us, right here with us, Vice Admiral Bimal Kumar sitting in front. Raise your hand, please. He has been the Sincan, the Commander-in-Chief of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands with us here. And that is when I told him, he said, oh, I will attend because this is very much my territory. So this is the kind of a feeling from the heart that he's talking about, where he volunteered to go. And the relief and rescue finishes, it doesn't take 1 year. It is the rehab and the psychological rehab which he has spoken about and written about, which takes so long. Tell us something a little about that, please.
Sir, tsunami ravished not only lives, but it ravished generations. And it ravished many more minds than lives. And I saw it with my own eyes that people who were affected, people who have gone away, they are finished and gone. End of story. But people who have gone through it and are alive go through the worst. Similar like what Anil Kumar, if he had died in that accident, he would have been happy with God. But since he had to live through the entire episode post the accident, I think that is a painful part of it. So having gone there, I realized that we're sitting under a shade here, we have got a fan at home, we got water coming out of a tap. Nothing was there. I remember eating from a bottle like this. We had cut it oblong and we had made rice and dal for the first few days. We were holding the bottle from one side, making a spoon out of the same plastic and eating for the first few days. And the first time the puris and the aloo arrived from by air, they had already got spoiled because of the heat. But we didn't mind that. We had it because it was sent with so much of love from there. So I understood what is life all about. It is not about wearing nice things and comforts and all that. Life is more than that, and I really understood what is it to live in a place which was far away from everyone. It was cut off from everyone, and we were like absolutely stranded on an island without anything. So the recovery from that, in 100 days to have the fighters there, and in a year to have our houses and everything there, I think it was a jolly good show on part of the Air Force and the Navy and the Army and everybody else there.
These are one of the many battles that you fight, right?
Yeah, I think life is always part of
Battles.
Yes.
Sir, you have come up with this book for your batchmate. I think it is one of the few books which is in the genre, like the Stephen Hawking wala kind of movement. And the book also shows the emotion and empathy and love you have for MP, because you have put in that kind of effort. How was it meeting his family, and how was it meeting his friend, going to Kerala, backwaters of Kerala, and also a family which has already lost his son?
But, firstly, MP was not my friend when I was in India. I was not close to him. A person who was close to him is sitting there. Major General Chauhan is sitting there, back. He was,
Please, for everybody.
yeah. So he was there, and he was in the same squadron as MP. In fact, all of us barely knew MP who he was. He was very good at whatever he did, but he was not that kind of person who interacts with people. Quiet person, and used to live in his own little cocoon. So I got to know him basically because I got posted to Pathankot where he was, and he had an accident just before I arrived in Pathankot. So then the interest grew, and then I said I must go and meet him in paraplegic. And since I belong to Pune, I used to meet him in Pune when I used to go there, and then our friendship grew after he became a paraplegic, quadriplegic rather. So what is the second part of your question?
Family.
Yeah. So then when I had gone to meet his family, of course it was very emotional. We have faced this many a time, all of us in the forge, when we have to go and break the news of dear one passing away. And it was the same kind of a thing. When you enter his house, it's a very small little house in Kerala. when you enter his house, the first thing that greets you is a massive India flag, an Air Force flag with India, this thing in between, and with MP Anil Kumar's photo. And her entire wall is covered with a flag. And from his childhood, through his journey through life, till the time he died, all photographs around the room. So it is like entering into some kind of a museum kind of a place. And they have preserved the same bed sheet that he used to use, the same the steel plate that he used to eat from. I was allowed to, by the way, use that bed that he used, and I was given the food in the same plate that he used to use. So it was highly emotional for me too. I was in tears. And whenever I used to ask her a couple of questions, she used to reply in Malayalam, of course, and I had an interpreter there to tell me what. But I was also trying to ask what are the emotions. So the sister, MP's sister, used to help me out as to what Auntie really meant. I call her Amma. And by the way, I do help the family now with all the money that comes from this book. It goes into looking after MP Anil Kumar's family, as well as looking after the paraplegic home in Pune. I give some amount of money from whatever comes from here goes to look after paraplegic soldiers. So it was a very, very emotional thing. But all the same, first time I went into a Kerala village and stayed how they stay, and it was quite an experience, a very good experience.
Though the book is about the human spirit against all odds, the book also successfully brings about the camaraderie, the joy of learning together, the campus life, be it Sainik School or the NDA. So is it a conscious decision to add all these snippets? Because it really brings about the book like a movie. It runs like a movie.
I think when I wrote it, I didn't have it in mind, to tell you very frankly. But when we went through the edits and when the professional editors took over, then I realized that the element of the training was as important as whatever else that I have mentioned about MP. So I think we managed both. We managed the journey of a small town boy coming into Sainik School, going through the training phase, and then as a fighter pilot in the Indian Air Force. So I think the story brings out all aspects of life as far as a soldier is concerned. It is a dual hit maybe. I got a 1 and 2.
I have been indicated that I should cut down my questions, so this will be my last, sir. As we speak today, it's a proud moment for us. Tejas has landed on Vikramaditya.
And that is Tejasvi saying so.
That's why I picked this question. So, sir, I know pilots really love their machines. So, you being a attack helicopter pilot, you might have flown the MI varieties. I would want to ask you, which is the best machine that you have flown, or which one do you find it favorite, and how does it compare with the others? Like I did my research here, like Cobra, Camo, LCH, all these things. And also, sir, one more question in this only. What is your message to the youngsters who want to be pilots? Because I can say I also wanted to be once. I couldn't make it. So, yours.
I'll go for the last one first, because whenever a barrage of questions is fired at me, I always remember the last one first. Anybody wants to become a pilot? Well, there are many pilots here. Yeah, many pilots sitting here, of course. I think it's you got to just apply for the National Defence Academy or through the direct entry route, and then join the Air Force as a pilot. But the fail rate is very high. We were 100 when we was 100 pilots, wannabe pilots reached the Air Force Academy, and only 36 of us made it. And today, out of 36, I think 12, right? 12 are no longer there with us. So I think we are just down to about 20 out of those 100 that started our journey in the Air Force. So it's not. I'm not trying to kind of dissuade people from it. It's a lovely, lovely profession, and the machine never fails you. That much I can tell you. It is maybe your training, your something else fails, but machine generally doesn't fail you, and it's as safe as walking on the road. It is not dangerous as people think it is. So anybody wants to join aviation, it's a beautiful, beautiful place to be in, alone in the sky. And so many people here can vouch for it, and I'll tell you more about it later, maybe.
So the other
Thank
part,
you.
other part,
Other
other
part,
part.
okay.
Machines that you have flown and how. do you
I've
compare?
flown all the helicopters in the Indian Air Force inventory today, barring the one which has just been brought, the AH-64 Apache at Pathankot. Other than that, I think I've flown all of them. And I think the best machine is the very basic machine that you fly, the Chetak Cheetah. Oh, it gives you the thrill of fly. It's like riding a
love.
cycle. No, it's not the level of love. It is just the basic. There's no autopilot. There's nothing. You're controlling the machine all the time. It's a man-machine interface. It's about how you get that aircraft to do what you want it to do, rather than doing some button flying. Just turning some buttons and making the aircraft do what you want
With
to
the
do.
elements.
With the elements. So I think the pure flying thrill of it, I think the Chetak Cheetah is the best thing.
Thank you for that.
So one last thing that I forgot to tell the audience is that MP, in fact, he'd asked me before this that I would like to tell people or not. But good news is that we have translated this book into 8 languages now. We have Marathi and Hindi already in. Gujarati is gone for print. Tamil, Telugu, and Malayalam are in the pipeline. Already, it's been written already. And I got it done in Braille for the blind children. So that is what it is. So all the best to that book.
Open to the house for questions, please.
I'm a helicopter pilot like you. So I've gone through all the things what you have. I can understand your emotion. First of all, I must say MP is a very lucky man, was a very lucky man. He had a friend like you who could narrate his story. So people are not that lucky. Second thing is you have inspired through your books many people. And today I'm also inspired. At least I'll add into my bucket list writing a book. So probably add to that.
Good.
My question to you is, MP was in a vegetated state for most of his second part of life. The people who supported him when he was alive, after you said 5 years, next 5 years, I mean, they are the silent soldiers behind his story. And I wish you could highlight about their effort to make his journey that long, which could have been shortened by that particular incident or that state.
Firstly, if there's a fly sitting on your nose and you can't do anything about it, just imagine a fly troubling you on your eyes and you can't do anything about it. How helpless is that person? And now from this helplessness, he has to make himself, worthwhile to live. So I think we'll start from his paraplegic home, his boys who helped him out. In fact, when he had to defecate also, his stomach had to be pressed. He had to be given 110 grams of rice at a time. He didn't know, because there's no connection between the stomach and his brain. So he doesn't know how much he can eat. So everything is measured. He lives a life like a mechanical chap. Only thing is that everything up here is working absolutely fine. So he can control the minds of people. So he's got to, and when all your other limbs go, the brain becomes all the more powerful. So if I can just give an example, just 30 seconds. There was this lady who wanted to commit suicide. She had a bad, I've written the book in the end, and she had a girlfriend-boyfriend issue and all that. She wanted to commit suicide, and she was doing well in life. And so when she used to be studying, there was a chapter by M.P. Anil Kumar called Airborne to Chairborne in his when he was young, and it got him 500 rupees from the Hindustan Times or Times of India, one of these newspapers. It's called Turning Point. There was a competition in which he won 500 bucks, and in that he had written about his life as to how he collected his life back from being nothing to being something. So it was motivational for her in her school days. And when she was committing suicide, she ran across this. She had torn the paper out of her textbook and kept it as motivation. And she read it again, and then she decided to live on. I met her in Dehradun, and she's having a swinging life now, and she's absolutely fine. So the MP could really affect anybody and everybody who came to him. It was an amazing character he was.
Just as a additional factual information, I think he lived in this state for 26 years.
Yes.
26?
26.
So 26 years in that near vegetative state. Yes, please.
Software company. It is glad to see a Maharashtrian being and also I'm proud that now the general army general is a Maharashtrian. So I remember in my younger days they used to say India is in Pune, but Pune is not in India. So whether that scenario is changing.
I think this is beyond the purview, but this, and secondly, sir, I'm more of an Indian than Pune. Sorry, Maharashtra first.
Next question, please.
Page that is most inspirational?
There is this first, as I start this book, MP is dying. MP is dying, and I write about what it is when death is approaching you. I have become MP now, and I am telling you what is happening around me. I am in severe pain and I am going to die. Okay, so I said, and it is related to his accident 26 years ago, and he is going to die now. Okay, so he's on his bed, and I said, darkness. The room seems to be going round and round. Let it rotate. There is so much to do and so little time. My mailbox is overflowing. So many friends want to know how I am and what I am up to. I have to reply to them. There is so little time. It's dark, it's hot, very hot. Is the room on fire or am I? I'll tell the attendant. AC ko minimum karo. Still no relief. There's been no physical pain or physical discomfort for long time. What is this then? My insides are on fire. Bring me water. So I start with this, and then he recounts his entire life in this last few minutes of his death about what happened from the time. So this darkness, in the end again I write thud, darkness. That is when his motorcycle hits the barrier and he falls down and he blacks out. So this is the beginning of the book. So I think this gets people interested to know what actually happened.
Any
Third book is this one. Yes. And it's short story. I met on a train, people I met on a flight, people I met on in Africa wherever I was, and what we did. So they're very small stories, but they've got very nice emotional thread running through the stories. And if you could read them and then write to me, then I'll be more than ready to.
In what way it motivates?
Yes, ma'am. Your question. Last question.
Telling you what it is.
What is your advice to budding writers or people who have a book here or here? What would you tell them to motivate it to get that book out?
Just 2 words. Just write. Just write. When I wanted to write, I was very hesitant as to what people will say about what I have written. So there was a friend of mine who's editor, Reader.com, chief editor-in-chief, Reader.com. So he called me and said, you just write what you want to write. I'll do the rest. So I started writing my story like a diary, that I went on so-and-so day to Car Nicobar and I did this and I did this and I did this. Then he called me and said, okay, now how can you make it more dramatic? I said, I would like to be on the island first and then go in a flashback. He said, do it. So then he gave me the ideas as to how to, kind of write. And I just wrote in my language is so simple that even an 8-year-old boy to an 80-year-old man can, without much knowledge of English, can read it easily.
So on behalf of the Bhopal Literature and Art Festival, on behalf of our esteemed audience, and of course on behalf of Mr. Tejasvi Naik and my own behalf, we thank you, sir, for the lovely exposition and your great 3 books, and we look forward to more.
Thank you very much, sir, and it's been a pleasure being at Bhopal. I think this is one of the best organized Lit Fest that I have seen so far.
Thank you. A big hand for him.